We were out in Dallas, right? there was this neighborhood that was going to get demolished anyway, so we blew it up. We blew it all up.
What do you know about two certified bankers? PhantasmaCast.
This is PhantasmaCast. You'll give us 1 hour and we'll give you 2 movies at a time. That's how we watch our favorite movies.
And you should too.
Starting with 1987's RoboCop.
And then moving on to 2018's Sorry to Bother You. You're kind of immediately going to be asking yourself,
Why?
why put these two movies together?
Okay.
I think it's very clear if you have two brain cells to rub together and watch these movies with some semblance of a critical eye that, you know, they are very anti-capitalist films.
Yeah, they are satirical, they're surreal, they're dark comedies, really. And you should rub 2 brain cells together at a time. And we rub 2 brain cells together at a time, and you should too.
So, starting off with RoboCop, after honest street cop Alex Murphy is brutally murdered, and we do mean brutally, by a gang, a powerful mega corporation reconstructs his remains into a cybernetic law enforcer to clean up a dystopian Detroit. RoboCop efficiently eradicates street crime, but when Murphy's human memories surface, he goes rogue to hunt down his killers, only to discover the gang is secretly working for a corrupt, high-ranking executive within the very corporation that built him.
You hate when that happens.
So, like, the setting is distant future, dystopian Detroit, right? Like, crime is like a big thing that's being pushed in this movie as what's kind of like literally tearing the city apart, so much so that this corporation wants to build like a whole new city out of old Detroit is what they call it.
Delta City is the new city. Yeah, they're like, that's old Detroit.
Yeah.
We're done with it. Crime is legal in old Detroit, but not in Delta City.
Like that kind of like sets this kind of like tone for like it's a very sort of wealth-oriented view of like urban environments, you know, like we have to kick out the riffraff so we can bring in our own. We can rebuild the city from the ground up in our own image.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know what a NIMBY is?
No.
It stands for not in my backyard. So that's what these guys are like. Crime? Not in my backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do they propose that they do that?
RoboCop.
Yes. This corporation, Omni, what is it?
Consumer Products.
Omni Consumer Products aims to eradicate crime in old Detroit. And they kind of blame that on the kind of government not being able to efficiently, you know, deal with crime. So they literally buy the police force in old Detroit.
Yeah, and it's announced at the start of this movie in like these like media break segments, which we were riffing on at the start of this episode, is just like OCP owns the Detroit police force now, you know, and that's good because they'll make it efficient. But really the reality we see is that, you know, cops are being killed left and right. You know, there's another headline that kicks off the movie is like 3 police officers dead and 1 in critical condition. And then when we go into the police force, like that guy's dead too.
Yeah.
But OCP's doing their little, they're scheming behind the scenes. And we get that in the form of this big idea from the vice president or the second vice president.
An executive.
Dick Jones.
Yeah.
Basically. I love that guy. I love the guy who plays Dick Jones. He plays it perfectly.
I love that the CEO of OCP is our boy Connell Cochran.
Yeah, Dan O'Hurley. Yeah, his credit is just the old man.
Oh, really?
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
But the pitch that Dick Jones gives is like, hey guys, we at OCP, we found profit in places that they've never even dreamed of having profit before.
List them off.
Hospitals, prisons, space exploration.
In 1987, that would have been absurd.
That one elicits laughter. They're like, how silly.
Yeah. They'll never be able to do that. Flash forward 2026. What's privatized? Prisons, hospitals, and even space programs.
We did it. Our first trillionaire, everyone. Fuck. We're in hell.
So to call this movie prophetic, I think is like, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that like reality has followed the plot of what is on the surface a very corny 80s action flick.
Yeah, they're like, this is a big fat cigar. That's the blueprint, boys.
Yeah, let's cook. Yeah, but it's like so weird to me too that like we have done nothing in the science fiction genre except talk about like the dangers of these like new technologies and going down these paths, and like the billionaires of today are like, let's do that.
they simply had no vision. We could do this. Let's do it, but worse and meaner and nastier, and you'll fucking love it because our stocks will go up.
Let's ignore all the warning signs and just go full tilt boogie into this. Yeah. It's wild. It really sets it up as like, this is the capitalist Reaganomics fueled like wet dream, you know,
of run everything like a business.
Yes. So much so that they even bought up the police force. And this is an idea that like also would have felt kind of laughable in the 80s, but is a total reality today of like kind of militarizing the police force.
Yeah.
It's crazy because crime in this country is at an all-time low. Like it just is. But the police force is more militarized than ever. And it's part of this kind of like military industrial complex, right? Like it doesn't just feed war in the Middle East. It feeds war in the middle of the streets. You know what I mean? Like, and that plays out really absurdly in this boardroom meeting that you're talking about.
Yes, yeah.
So like paint that picture.
Yeah, because so Dick Jones is like profits, but what he's really pitching is this thing called Ed 209. This like bipedal
tank
war machine
yes
thing that like growls beastly when it is like, put down your weapon. to show it off, he's like, hey, Kenny, this like underling who happens to be at the meeting, he's like, go ahead and take this huge fucking piece right here. And like he's like, threaten it, like be threatening. And what he does is he points it right at Dick Jones. He's like, no, point it at the thing. So he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, put down your weapon. And he's like, oh,
it like comes to life, right? And this is supposed to be a show of like how great this new technology is.
So he like throws the gun down. He's like, he disarms, and they're like, you have 15 seconds to comply. And everyone's like, oh, fuck. It's going. It's not letting go.
Scientist at the board, and he's just like,
he's trying to rip out the wires.
And it's counting down 10, 9, 8. And like, you're like, surely, like, it won't. But it does.
Yeah. And Kenny just gets like Swiss cheesed with like
blown away
20, 30 bullets. Just. And
I think in the commentary they call it they say this man was turned to hamburger.
Yeah. And isn't that one of the scenes that was like contested to be like, hey, you need to trim this down a little bit because it's a little too over the top?
Yeah, I think so. Paul Verhoeven is firmly in the camp of like it needs to be so over the top that it rather than elicit horror, it needs to elicit laughter, right? Because that's exactly how ridiculous this proposition is, right? Like, you're going to fight crime by just utterly fucking destroying this man's body, you know? Like, even after he goes down, it still keeps shooting him, you know?
Yeah.
It's just absurd.
It's absurd. And I always thought that scene ended with, well, shit, this is going to cost us a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's really what they care about.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, fuck, it killed someone on our team. It's like, great, we're even further behind schedule.
Yeah. Colonel Cochran's got his head down and he's like, this is going to push us back at least two quarters. You know? Yeah.
And then that's where Bob Morton comes in. He's like, hold on. I've got this other proposal. We already ironed out all those bugs and glitches that you see here. And Dick Jones is like, hold on, watch your shit. And he's like, no. We need some young blood in here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and spin up your proposal. I want to see it in like 20 minutes or something like that.
He's like, get this. RoboCop. And I mean, that also just kind of, there's like a subplot in this movie that kind of highlights like the corporate kind of cutthroat culture too, that the kind of like Wall Street, greed is good vibe of like, it's cutthroat. We're going to climb over each other's fucking bodies to get to the top.
Yeah. This is the 80s corporate culture thing.
And so Colonel Cochran, I'm just going to call him Colonel Cochran.
Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you, dude. That's his name.
Is like, you're a go. Let's do it. Right. And so, what's his name?
Morton
is just like, all right, all we got to do is like wait for some poor fucking sap
to die. What they phrase it as, they corporatize it. They're like, oh, we just need a volunteer.
Yes. But it's got to be one of those things where, like, you know, when Murphy transferred to the office, he had to sign probably like a bunch of forms, you know,
Yeah.
And then it was probably like a little fine print that was like, by the way, if you die, we're gonna turn your body into like a super RoboCop.
Yeah, they're like, what's the matter, Murphy? You didn't read the user agreement?
Yeah,
it's essentially what today would be, is like, well, he signed up for it.
Yeah.
You can see so many people bootlick that way and be like, well, he signed up to be a RoboCop, actually.
Yeah.
So it's not against the rules.
And so, smash cuts to Murphy and Lewis, his partner, played by Nancy Allen.
Hell yeah.
And they're chasing bank robbers, the leader of which is played spectacularly by Kurtwood Smith.
I love him so much in this movie. He's so good. I love that did you know he read for Dick Jones?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been cool, but he's way better.
I agree.
As like the muscle.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like, I read for Dick Jones, but you know, they called me back for Clarence and I was like, all right, I could do something with this.
Yeah.
And then the Paul Verhoeven touch is the glasses. Do you know what that was about?
I did like key in on the glasses. My last
like,
watch of it. I'm like, why is he? It's interesting that he's wearing glasses because he is this tough guy. He would be played by, who would he be played by today? Like fucking, maybe like Austin Butler would play him today. You know what I mean?
He would go a little method with it and actually like go bald. Fuck it. No, I'll own it. I'm going to play him today. I've got that spot, you know?
But instead they cast this middle-aged balding man and gave him glasses, you know? But somehow he still is just so sinister and dangerous.
And scheming and plotting. And that's because the glasses idea is they wanted to evoke the image of Heinrich Himmler.
Oh, I was in the back of my mind. I was like, it's got to be a Nazi.
This is some Nazi shit, right? Verhoeven's like, I thought it'd be very interesting. I grew up in World War II, so we give him Heinrich Himmler.
Yeah.
So such a European touch, and I think all those European touches are what makes RoboCop stand out even today.
Yeah.
Peter Weller is quoted about Verhoeven's sensibilities in this like behind the scenes like making of RoboCop that looks like it was produced around the time that the movie came out.
Okay.
Because everyone's around that same age or maybe a few years after, right? And he says it doesn't quite feel like an American made it because Verhoeven, he says, quote, he wanted to make it for American sensibilities. Still, the obliqueness of it and some of the humor, the wit, the social milieu, the jackpot of little goodies that he throws in is from Europe. So it's tremendously unique. Totally agree, Peter, because if an American made it, it'd be so machismo. It wouldn't be as funny. I think there'd be a lot more punching down. There'd be a lot more hoorah, hoorah, cops are great kind of thing. But like in the very beginning of this movie, we have some of the cops being like, fucking OCP is worming their way in. Our guys are dying. We should strike. That is a European sensibility, because like now, even today, if someone goes on strike, it's like, that's pussy communist shit. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm sorry that people like want to, strike for better protections.
Well, what's interesting, especially about that part of this movie, is that the executive producer, John Davison, said that like, as much as this is a movie about the kind of military industrialization post-Vietnam War, it is a response to Reaganomics, and
completely, yeah.
And some of the key kind of factors of Reaganomics, which we're still dealing with the fallout today. Yeah. Huge tax cuts for the rich. They started allowing corporations to participate in stock buybacks, right? God. So rather than reinvesting into their products, into their people, and making stronger, better products like capitalism presupposes, it became more about increasing the price of the stock so that shareholders could get rich.
Yeah.
And then just like lackluster antitrust enforcement and regulatory agencies. On top of, there was an episode during Reagan's presidency in which the flight traffic controllers went on strike.
Yeah.
And instead of giving them better conditions, better pay, Reagan fired 10,000 of them.
Yeah. He's like, goodbye, pussies.
Yeah.
I don't think we've never recovered from that.
Yeah.
We still have shit flight regulations.
No,
and
yeah.
The technology behind it is so fucking outdated. It's insane.
So, I mean, all of that experience, they just said no to. Like, you have no value. It's wild, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, the police going on strike is very much reminiscent of the flight controller strike.
Mm-hmm. And there's even like some like off-screen lines of dialogue where like the police are like watching RoboCop when he's like in the shooting range, right? They're like, oh damn, like, are they going to replace us with him? Like, they're very keyed in to like, this is a threat to our labor,
right?
For sure,
right. It's very, very prescient today, right? Where almost every white collar worker is afraid of losing their job to AI, which doesn't even do a good job of what it does anyways.
No, it does not. But I'm glad you brought up AI, and I never thought I'd say that. but AI, or like the idea of your humanity being supplanted by a technology, by a hot commodity, a technology that's like basically propping up the economy. Yeah. Right now. As soon as that bursts, that's going to go great. But anyways, with RoboCop, he is actually being replaced physically by all this technology. And there's even this moment, which I still find very sickening. It was when we have like a POV shot of RoboCop when he's getting assembled still. And one of the like surgeons working on him is like, hey, we managed to save his left arm.
Oh yeah.
And Morton's like, what the fuck? Like, no, get rid of his arm. We said full body, like robotics. Yeah. Like, get the shit out of there. And she's like, why? We saved it. Like, that's a miracle. And he's just like, no, in the contract it said robotics. Yeah. Like, let's get rid of him. Let's make him more machine than man. What the fuck do we need the man for? Right. Is what that comes down to.
I kind of like, when I watched that scene, I was like, well, what part of him is real? It's like, it almost feels like it's just his fucking jaw, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, obviously, maybe like some part of his brain is still in there. He did get shot in the head.
He did.
But yeah, I mean, like the literal, if you look at the cover, the literal like way that they did the costume is like there's only that sliver of humanity left in him, and that's how OCP would prefer it.
Mm-hmm. And then as the story goes on, and he loses his helmet because he's pushing back, and he realizes that there's this secret directive, right, that OCP installed, which was you cannot arrest a senior OCP officer.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah. Murphy, didn't you read the end user agreement? God damn it.
Yeah.
But he loses his helmet, or they take it off, like Nancy Allen takes it off of him, and it looks like he just has like his face grafted onto a cybernetic like skull. And I think that was the intent of the design. So like really it's just this superficial veneer of a man on top of the robot. So I think you were right. It's just, what man is there? It's the appearance to not scare you that much. Of like there is a face there, which is just a smidgen more human than the Ed 209 thing, which doesn't even have a name. That's a serial number. RoboCop, they at least, like, funnily enough, some of the reporters go, Robo, like it's his first name. They're like, Robo, have an opinion here? when like the kids are coming up to him in that news clip, they're like, Robo, do you have a statement to say to our youth of today? And he's like, stay out of trouble.
The tragic story that really underpins the satire that's going on is actually, this was a suggestion from Rob Bottin.
Okay. Who was he again?
He was the special effects guy on this film.
Gotcha.
So if you really look at that sequence when they're putting RoboCop together and introducing him, right? You don't get like an initial like wide shot that shows him. They're going into like the police station, and you hear one scientist go like, bring him in the side door.
Yeah.
And the sergeant's like, what the hell's going on here? And then you just kind of see this like through like an opaque window, like this hulking mass like walk by.
And those footsteps.
Yes. And then again, when you see him, you only see the mass from afar, and it's shot on the other side of this kind of like mesh grating, or you see a little bit of his face in like a reflection. Rob Bottin was like, if you just show him, it's going to be ridiculous and people are going to laugh. But if you build it up and don't show it and kind of add an air of mystique, that people are going to lean in and they're going to want to know. And then you get the reveal and you're like, oh, fuck, what did they do to this man?
It puts you right in the moment. You are just like those cops looking from a distance being like, what the ever-loving fuck is that?
Yeah. Filmmaking, man.
It's wonderful.
But then another great sequence in the film is when it's like after he has kind of figured out that this one guy he's like shooting up a gas station.
Yeah.
And he like sees who he is, and he takes it back to the computer at the office through like a purely non-dialogue sequence. You're learning the same information RoboCop's learning as he's going through these files to figure out who the guy is. So he figures out who the guy is. He finds his like known accomplices. He finds Kurtwood Smith, and then he sees Kurtwood Smith is suspected of murder _ Murphy. So he clicks Murphy, and then he sees himself. And then that's what kind of like brings it all back for him. He's like, I was this man, Alex Murphy.
Yeah. He goes on a little journey of self-discovery kind of thing.
Yeah. He sees his old address. He goes to it. And it's so sad. He's walking through his old house, and it's not like fully empty. Like there are these little like pieces.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The terminals there like is like a kind of real estate like terminal.
I thought that was future tech dystopic bullshit too. Yeah.
But like there's like a dead roses on the fireplace. you know,
the world's best
husband or dad,
yeah,
mug that's broken, that's just been left on the counter. And it's so beautiful because he's seeing these things with his robot eyes, right?
As we all do.
You get that POV. But then it flashes to his memories, his real memories. It's in that like moment that the clash between like Robo and Murphy is happening, you know?
Right. Which kind of visually calls back to when he was initially being operated on after they brought him into the hospital and tried to save his life, which was crazy that he's still alive at that point, by the way. But he's having those like life flashing before him moments. And now he's having life coming back to him moments of like, oh, there was a kid here. He's calling me dad. And we like took a picture over here. And then this is the room where this woman ran at me and said, I have to tell you something. I love you.
Yeah.
And it's like, God damn it. And then of course, as he's leaving and the guy, the little terminal is like, anything else I can help you? Can you make me an offer? Shit was great. But I think what we're dancing around is calling Peter Weller amazing. Yeah. For what he does in the suit, what he manages to accomplish in like evoking the human.
It really is nothing short of amazing, because another actor wouldn't have taken the role because you wouldn't be able to see his face 90% of the movie.
Right.
It's really funny. Paul Verhoeven's like, we needed to find an actor who had a really good jawline. Like, he needed to be a good actor, but he also needed a really good jawline because that's the only thing you see. He brings such a tragedy to that role. And I think Ed Neumeyer also said Peter brought a sense of mythic self-pity.
That's a really good one.
You know? He's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like his sort of elongated features. Like, he just looks like a sad character, you know?
Mm-hmm. I heard that he went a little method at the beginning. He didn't want to be called Peter on set. So like Miguel Ferrer, the guy who plays Morton, he's like, hey, I'd known Peter for like 10 years or something. So I'd be on set and be like, hey, Peter, how's it going? He's like, there is no Peter here. He's like, come on, Peter. He's like, eventually he gave that up after a couple weeks, but you know, we all had a good time.
Have you heard the Robo wants an Oreo clip?
What a sentence you just put into my ears. No, I have not.
Did you put together? There is this fantastic behind the scenes story.
Okay.
I'm gonna play it.
You're gonna show it to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so absurd and wonderful.
Definitely that guy.
Spinning my way just a little bit.
When we were in Monessen, Pennsylvania, shooting the steel mill, Peter's upstairs. We were up 2 or 3 floors. You had to go upstairs to get to him.
This is Randy Moore, the
had
weapons
an explosion
master.
behind him. We make the explosion hot. We're ready to go. I went upstairs and I was carrying, I don't know, about 8 Oreos in a stack. I'd hand him his weapon. I'd say, Peter, safety's off. And he wouldn't take the pistol. And he says, Robo wants an Oreo. And I looked at him and go, no. It's just you and I, Peter. Robo doesn't get an Oreo. Peter wants an Oreo.
Robo doesn't get an Oreo. Okay, that leads credence to the theory that they kind of thought of him as his name is Robo. Hey, Robo. Robo wants an Oreo. Robo doesn't get an Oreo.
It keeps
Robo
going.
Doesn't get an Oreo. If Peter wants an Oreo, Peter can have an Oreo. And he clip-clops in the suit over to the edge of the railing, and Peter starts bellowing, Robo wants an Oreo. And then the steel mill just echoes, Randy has Oreos, or Robo wants an Oreo. And Steve Lim over there goes, Randy, do you have Oreos? So I stuffed that whole stack in my mouth, and then crunched them and let them fall down 3 stories onto everybody below me. And not anymore.
Oh my God.
There's a punchline at the end.
Okay.
I haven't got a damn clue about Randy Moore and his fucking Oreo.
I'm so so glad you have not seen that before and that I was
Okay.
able to show it to
No,
you.
that was awesome. That was awesome. Have this? Okay, now I have to talk about all like a couple more like behind the scenes
Okay.
like shenanigans that went down on the set. Specifically with the villains. We haven't talked about it, but there's Kurtwood Smith, obviously. But then there's Ray Wise, right? As Leon, I think was the character's name. He is so fucking chill in these behind the scenes videos. He's kind of like at like this kind of an angle like the whole time. And he's like, oh yeah, it was a blast being on set. I loved when we had those giant like tank guns when we were out in Dallas, right? there was this neighborhood that was going to get demolished anyway, so we blew it up. You know? We blew it all up. And he talks about how him and Kurtwood were a little too close to one of the explosions where like the entire storefront gets like fireballed out. And the stunt team came up afterwards and was like, oh, we're sorry you got a little like too close to that stunt here. So we're giving you a stunt pay, like a bonus stunt pay. And he was like, and that was like $300, $400. So after that moment, I started scheming ways to get closer to the stunts. And then the last part is like when Leon gets blown up at the end when he's like, I got him. And then Nancy Allen blows him the fuck up. That mannequin, they had like a mannequin in that area where he got blown up and they put his clothes on there. The crew came up with like the clothes from the mannequin, like the cindered, burnt clothes, and gave it to him. And he's like, and I still got that. He's like, I got it in plastic bags hanging in my closet, kind of like Laura Palmer was. I was like, this guy just dropped a Twin Peaks reference into his interview, and he's like, and I will not elaborate on that. You know? Like, imagine you don't know what the fuck Twin Peaks is, and you're like wrapped in a plastic bag like Laura Palmer, and we're like, this guy kill someone? Like, what the fuck?
I think another thing that really makes RoboCop like this kind of like prophetic movie again still is the presence of these like media break moments.
Right, that are just peppered throughout the movie.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like this mixture of news, entertainment, and like consumer, like advertising, really.
Yeah, and like this like pop culture show that goes unnamed, but we only really hear like the catchphrase from it, which is "I'd buy that for $1."
Yeah, and it fucking sends everyone who watches it
into a laughing fit. Yeah,
you know. Yeah, apparently it's called "It's Not My Problem," which is this show, and it's dumb, right? Because we only ever see these snippets of. It's like women with big boobs. Some random fucking situation is happening, and it's always capped off with this like gross man saying, "I'd buy that for $1."
Yeah, he's looking like flushed. He's like red cheeks.
Yeah,
just grimy and greasy and shit. And weirdly enough, Morton like wants to emulate that in some way. Like he makes a joke to this other guy when he gets promoted to vice president. He's like, "Hey, I'd buy that for $1." Right?
Yeah.
You know, the show.
Well, that's how mainstream that show is, right? It's like the equivalent of like someone making an SNL reference at The Office.
Yeah.
You know,
I wrote it's like what memes serve as today. It's just like a little audio visual tick that people pick up on, and sometimes like pop culture makes one of them bigger than the other and shit. And it feels very alienated when you're outside of it. You're like,
yeah,
are you okay? I don't get it. Yeah.
Maybe that's also like a European sensibility of like, he's like, I don't get this American humor.
Just it's loud, it's bombastic, it's on TV.
Yeah.
Americans will love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is like, it's like what TV kind of has become, you know? I think when you watch Idiocracy, right? And that show Ow My Balls plays, it's kind of the same thing, right? It's just like the dumbification of our entertainment, you know? And not to say that like all television is dumb and loud and bombastic, but like, you know, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. is very popular.
Catching Strays, reality TV show.
You know, I really love the like heart transplant commercial that plays
very
too.
beginning. Yeah.
It's like, it starts off as like literally every like pharmaceutical commercial you've ever seen. He's like, we here at the Family Heart Clinic believe. And then,
Saving lives is our primary goal.
and then he goes, the new Sport Heart by Yamaha. And he like shoots it towards the camera and he goes, you pick the heart. So good.
What does he say? Extended warranties, financing, and other things are available for it. And then he goes to walk away. He's like walking off camera and he goes, oh, by the way, remember, we care.
As long as you can pay for it, right?
Yeah.
RoboCop is just this like on its surface, I don't think you could even mistake it for like a dumb action movie. It's there. It's all really text, you know? Mm-hmm. You don't have to try and get the movie. It's just there.
Yeah. And that worked for RoboCop, you know, that worked in 1987, but you know, times have changed a bit. And we get a different flavor of that with a movie like Sorry to Bother You.
I love this movie. I was in love with it. We went to go see it together, I think, in the theater, right? And I walked out just kind of like in shock.
Like a little dazed, like, you can do that?
Yeah.
And I think that would be Boots Riley's like perfect like reception to the movie. Like, you can do that?
Yeah.
With a movie? I think he's gone on record saying like, he wants to make art that shows that you can fight back, that you can challenge the system, but it's still entertaining. You know? And that's what Sorry to Bother You is.
One thing that I love about Sorry to Bother You is that like, this is Boots Riley's first movie, you know?
Yeah.
And I love to watch movies, especially from like musicians turned filmmaker, right? Because it's almost like they've like in their music, they have kind of honed this ability to have a voice.
To have a theme.
And have a theme, and they've sharpened their wit, you know, and they've cut their teeth in this medium. And then they're moving over to film, and their first movie is usually fucking nuts, right? Like House of a Thousand Corpses for Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
It was really just like a cosmic gumbo if you will, of just all of the things that are floating around in his head. And that you could say the same, I think, for Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is a lyricist. He writes all the lyrics for his group, The Coup.
The Coup, yeah.
And they had an album called Sorry to Bother You. So it was kind of transposed into film, and like all of the ideas that he plays with in this movie it's just so wonderfully brought together, you know?
I agree. What's the synopsis for our folks back home who've maybe never seen Sorry to Bother You?
Broke telemarketer Cassius Green unlocks corporate success by mastering a flawless white voice, quickly ascending to the rank of power seller, while his activist girlfriend and former co-workers organize a union strike downstairs. As Cassius enters the company's elite upper echelon, he earns massive wealth, but discovers his employers selling indentured labor contracts, a conspiracy that culminates when the company's eccentric CEO reveals a horrifying genetic experiment designed to maximize worker productivity. If you were to tell me you didn't see any of that coming, it's okay, because Boots Riley describes this movie as, quote, an absurdist dark comedy with magical realism and science fiction inspired by the world of telemarketing.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
What a way.
Put it on right now. I want to watch it again. Yeah, that is one of the things that kind of irks me. And I don't blame anyone who thinks like this, right? This is my little pet peeve about when this movie gets brought up in casual conversation, is people are like, you know, spoiler here, what's up with the horses? What's up with the horse people?
The correct thing is, what is up with the horse people, man?
What did that make you think? What do you think it's about? And I think they arrive at the conclusion because it's not just dropped in there and then it's like, well, moving on to the next thing. When that becomes a thing in the movie, it's clearly like spelled out exactly what their goal with that stuff is. But the idea of the power collar, which starts with Cassius in an interview for the Regal View for the telemarketing.
Right.
And he's got with him like this employee of the month plaque. And he's got like a trophy that it's revealed by Stephen Root, his interviewer. He's like, this is all bullshit, right? Like, I worked at the bank that you said you had employee of the month for. He's like, how'd you even get that? He's like, I made it. I had someone make it to me. He's like, no. That's all great. It shows initiative.
Yeah.
So like you're hired as long as it shows you can read too. So you're hired. He's like, oh, fuck yes, you got the job. But Cassius is like clearly motivated to make ends meet. He is not lazy, which is a word that is thrown out a lot for people that don't have jobs. As like, oh, just go out and find a job, you lazy sack of shit. He is not lazy. He is innovative. He is struggling. He doesn't want to be a cog in the machine, but he kind of has to be now because that's all he can get.
Yeah.
And despite his like ingenuity and trying to like manufacture this image of himself, he is also weighed down personally by his own hangups of like, well, what am I really doing? Like, what am I contributing? Like, what's my lasting mark on the world going to be? So he's kind of like what today you would call like a doomer. And then we have Detroit, his girlfriend, played by Tessa Thompson, who, she's
wonderful.
She's wonderful. She's got these like beautiful earrings, like for every scene. She's got a different pair of earrings. She's like the foil to him. She knows how to express herself. She wants to make statements with her art, and then she wants to, leverage that art for, social and political reasons, which is perfect for when that becomes a thing at Regal View. Shortly after Cassius learns a thing of his own, where he's gone from like, what am I even good at? Really?
Yeah.
He learns from Danny Glover, his coworker. He's like, man, you're not doing the white voice enough. It's like, what are you talking about?
What I love about how that is kind of introduced is it shows you a couple of his like initial calls.
Yes.
And rather than it just be a strictly like, voice over the phone kind of thing, it like throws Cassius like right into
literally
the situations that he's interrupting people in.
He'll plop down.
Yeah.
Desk and all.
Like his first one is this like guy who's having breakfast, and he tries to go into his script. Stick to the script is what all these fucking telemarketer places talk about. And then the next one is like a couple that's like having sex.
The woman picks it up. He's like, you hear the flesh pound. He's like, I don't mean to bother you, but I'm calling for it. And she's like, whatever. Hangs up.
And then the last one is this like old woman who like is like sad about she's like she lost someone.
Her husband is like going through cancer treatment.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And then he like flips through his like instruction manual, and it says something like use every situation as a selling point.
Yeah, make every problem a selling point.
Yeah, and then he tries, which immediately turns her off. And it's just like that's one element in this cosmic gumbo that Boots Riley puts out as just kind of like the dehumanization of an endeavor like telemarketing, right?
Yeah.
You're interrupting people in the course of their lives to sell them something
they don't need
or want.
They didn't ask for. Yeah. But in order for you to be able to pay your bills and feed yourself, fucking bug the shit out of everyone to the maximalist degree.
And the way that he figures out how to be successful at that is Danny Glover turns to him and is like,
do the white voice.
You gotta put on your white voice, man.
He's like, people already tell me I sound pretty white. He's like, that's not what I mean, young blood. He's like, I love the way they describe it because it's so perfectly encapsulated by like, here's an example. You have never been fired. You've been laid off. You've got kids to go home to. The moment you leave this place, you're driving away in your sports car. Mm-hmm. You have no worries. You don't even know what a worry is. That's your white voice kind of thing. And I love how that's a representation of, in a way, like tokenism.
Yeah. Or like code switching.
Code switching, and tokenism, how those like play together and how as like a person of color, you're asked asked, scare quotes around that.
Check your blackness at the door.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just check it at the door and use your white voice. And I think they picked the perfect white voice for Cassius in David Cross.
David Cross.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to speed away to my Porsche car here after this. Is that a Visa or MasterCard, did you say?
Yeah. And then somehow his success just explodes.
Yeah.
So Cassius has this trajectory change in his career, in his financial situation. At the same time, this character Squeeze, played by Stephen Yeun, who Boots Riley describes as a SALT, which apparently
for something.
I don't think it's an acronym, but like it describes a person who like becomes employed at a place.
Okay.
With the express purpose of drumming up anti-corporate sentiment and building
To unionize.
unions.
Yeah.
Organizing the employees at the place.
Right. And he's actually quoted later in the movie. I have a really good quote from Squeeze here. Let me pull it up. His good quote later on, this is way later in the movie, so I'm jumping ahead a lot, is Squeeze says, if you get shown a problem but have no idea how to control it, then you just decide to get used to the problem. Mm-hmm. So he's there as a SALT to identify the problem, but then get everyone else on board to be like, there's a problem, right? Let's do something about it. And I know you're going to get scared that your job is going to be threatened. They're going to do that to everyone.
Yeah.
Regardless. So that fear you have, it's real, but like doing nothing about it, it's not going to make it go away. It's always going to be there looming over your shoulder. So they have like these very real, work up to a strike at Regal View, and everyone's on board, and it's beautiful. But at the same time, Cash is, slowly gaining notoriety or like favorability by the Regal View managers because of his employment of the white voice.
Yeah.
He's being reminded. He's like, the power collars, man, you're going to get in that nice cushy elevator and ride all the way to the top with those power collars. And we get like a shot of like the power collar that he's like aiming to be. And it's this other black guy, this other black man with like an eye patch. He's very, very striking looking. Was he played by Omari Hardwick, I think is his name. And we later learn, Omari Hardwick. And we later learn his name is just Mr. Bloop. they blur it out.
Yeah, it's literally written as like just an underline, Mr. Blank.
Which is like, Boots Riley making a statement. It doesn't matter what his name is.
Yeah.
Like his real identity has been stripped of him. Because when Cassius becomes a power caller, they're like, hey, white voice only up here.
Yeah.
And that guy's played by Patton Oswalt.
What's another interesting thing about Mr. Blank in terms of how like the erasure of identity, right? Is he has a handful of identifying features, right?
Yeah.
He's got a bowler cap.
Yeah.
He has an eye patch. Mm-hmm. And he has those
like chops
sideburns that look exactly like Boots Riley's sideburns.
Oh, okay.
And how all of those came about is they were the idea of three different people who one of the costumers was like, he should wear a bowler cap. Someone else mentioned the eye patch. And then Omari Hardwick, he said he wanted to do Boots Riley's sideburns. Okay. Right? So like, not only does his name not matter, right? But he is just kind of this amalgamation of things that are just like other people's ideas,
That brings me back to how we said Dennis Franz in one of the De Palma movies. I forget which one, where he's like, I remember now. It was oh my God, I forgot it right as I remembered it. Not Dressed to Kill, the one about the Body Double. Dennis Franz in Body Double. He wanted that jacket because De Palma wore that jacket. He's like, I want to dress like that guy. So Omari Hardwick's like, I kind of want that guy's chops. Like, that's the director.
But it is incredibly dehumanizing because it is that thing where they're like, white voices only up here, right? And you start to see Cassius is increasingly identifying less with where he came from and more with like his fake friends, you know?
Yeah.
Even to the point where, like, you know, you see this kind of transition for Cassius where he's moved out of his uncle's garage. He's even paid off the house for his uncle.
Mm-hmm. Played by Terry Crews.
Yeah. And he's in this like
Loft.
really cool, hip Oakland apartment, you know? And he like wakes up, next to Tessa Thompson, and he's talking in his white voice.
He's like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" And she's like, "Cash, knock that shit off right now." Yeah, everyone is immediately like, "Okay, knock it off."
Yeah.
You know, they don't really let it fly. They know exactly what he's doing that for, in a way that he doesn't even realize why he's doing that.
Yeah.
Until it's too late, you know, which is, you know, symbolic of how that's used in real life. Is you code switch, you know, you're going to code switch so much that eventually you're going to realize that you're not switching back. Or
yeah, you've completely sold out, right? And that's why Tessa Thompson leaves him. In the commentary track, Boots Riley was talking about how he thought it was really funny how more people were upset by Detroit breaking up with Cassius and hooking up with Steven Yeun. They were more upset by that than the horse people part, than the slavery part of it. You know?
What kind of people? Let's see the demographics on that.
And he's like, but it makes total sense, right? Like, she was with this dude that she was down with. These are his words. I just could switch a little bit. Sorry. I'm not Quentin Tarantino.
Oh man.
But like, he sold out. He like,
Right,
he's not the
right.
person that she liked anymore, you know?
She's like, "I like the old you."
Yeah.
Cassius, you know, like, she gave him shit a little bit of like, "Hey, stop being such a doomer" and stuff like that. But like, I still love you. I still love who you are, not what you haven't achieved yet.
But what's really funny and I think really poignant about like the point that like Boots Riley tries to make is like later Cassius, like he crashes Detroit's art show,
Yeah.
you know, and she puts on a white voice.
Which I did not catch the first couple of viewings until this one. I was like, hold on. That's a white voice.
And British too. You know?
Yeah.
It's Lily James.
Lily James.
I love that she's an artist, right?
Full-throated.
Because like of course she has all these things that she wants to say and do with her art, right? But she still has the code switch to draw attention and acclaim and money to her art.
Yeah. To like make a statement.
Yes.
And not to, you know, enrich yourself at the expense of your friends.
So, you know, there's a bit of I think Boots Riley is really like kind of like pointing out like an inherent hypocrisy of progressive people.
Yeah.
You know? Like it's like, okay, yeah, you have all of these beliefs that the system's fucked up and it's got to change and everything, but you're still participating in it, you know?
Yeah. But there's a difference between participating in it because you have to make ends meet and like championing it
Right.
once you make a bag.
Right.
You know, and then you just forego and you're like, "Oh, I didn't need all this shit. I blew up."
Yeah.
You know? I want to touch on what you said about you loved how Detroit was this artist. And I think Detroit is kind of the most like stand-in for Boots's like view of like how art should be, or it can be, is like there's a conversation of the aesthetics and the message.
Okay.
And how sometimes the aesthetics are just as or sometimes more important than the content because people will have an emotional response to the aesthetics. Like a lot more people will have an emotional response to that. But then as time goes on, people will think about the message. later.
In much the same way, people are like, what's up with the fucking horse people?
Right.
Like, that's the point. It is
That was the aesthetic.
absurd
Yeah.
to provoke a reaction so that it sticks with you and you got to think about it.
Yeah. And then even Cash has like a reaction to the aesthetics of like, oh shit, do I have a horse cock? And like has to show it off like, please tell me I don't have this horse cock.
Yeah.
Because they made me sniff the powder and that's how you turn them into the, what do they call them? The
Equisapiens.
Equisapiens, yeah.
So yeah, like let's get to that part, right?
Okay.
So,
we'll address the horse cock in the movie.
so Cassius like is he's arrived, right? He is a power caller. He gets invited to the
Steve
Lift's mansion,
played by Armie
Hammer. When he gets there, he's kind of pushed to do a rap.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like one of the most degrading things, right? Because like Cassius thinks he's arrived. He thinks he's that because he's been invited to the party, he's part of the group, you know. But really, he's kind of a sideshow for these rich assholes.
Yeah.
Because they're like basically you're black, you know how to rap. Why don't you do a rap?
Yeah. The first thing before that was, you surely shot someone, right? Tell us about how you busted a cap in someone. And then Mr. Blank was like, Cash? Nah, he hasn't done that. And then it was like, yeah, sorry to disappoint. I haven't busted a cap in anyone. And he's like, okay, well, surely you know how to rap, right? Right, everyone? Rap. And he's not good at that. And so he just, it's embarrassing. It is cringe-inducing to watch him stand on these stairs while everyone's looking up at him expectantly, being like, come on, black man, rap.
Yeah, he does the most pandering
thing.
Rap.
Go ahead, Jake. Go ahead, say the lines. We will not say the lines here, but it is N-word shit. And he just repeats that over and over to the backbeat.
N-word shit.
N-word shit.
And everyone loves it.
And everyone
they're all singing it too.
Yeah, it was a call and response thing. And Mr. Blank's looking around like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, he's realizing the bed that he's made as like, you know, I think what you said before we started recording was he's like kind of the Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
Of the group.
Yeah.
But that's what
he's what a good black man is.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steve Lift represents, in Boots Riley's words, the trend of new capitalism equaling no capitalism. It is just like, this isn't a workplace. This is a fun place. This is a play place. Like, I'm not providing a job to people that worry free. I'm providing a lifestyle. We all live together. We're family. It's all in my book. Go buy it. You know?
And he also dresses very progressive-y too.
He's well groomed.
Embodies the trappings of the white liberal. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And but then after the rap on the stairs, Mr. Blank comes up to Cassius, and he's like, all right, this is the first and only time we hear him in his normal speaking voice. He drops the white voice to tell him, hey, Steve Lift wants to go see you. That's when we get the bombshell of what Steve wants from Cassius. The other shoe is finally going to drop.
Right.
Of like, you're a power caller, but I'm going to make you a scare quotes offer here. Now, just watch this video. He's like, I got to go pee. So he's like, okay, go down to the jade door on the left. And he goes into a green door, you know, and he's like trying to find the bathroom. There seems to be a guy. We see like a head of some sort over a stall. And he's like, hey, man, you coming or going? You know, he's like, help.
Yeah.
And he goes to open the stall. And then what comes out? I don't know. A fucking horseman.
A naked horseman.
Naked horseman who's screaming, help me.
Yeah.
And that naturally freaks Cassius the fuck out. And
do you know who the voice of the horseman is?
I know of the one that comes up later is Forrest Whitaker.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's like, hey man, talk normal to me. But yeah, we get the TLDR of it is like, Steve Lift comes back. He's like, oh shit, I told you to go through the jade door. You went through an olive door. That was your mistake here. But anyways, guns out now. Let's go back and watch the video.
Yeah.
And it's all about how Worry Free is going to revolutionize labor by turning its workforce into equisapiens. These horse people who do more, complain less, and most importantly, don't need to get paid.
Yeah. So capitalist wet dream.
Yeah.
Right? Free labor, slave labor. You know how like capitalists like so wish they could get slaves again?
Yeah.
You know?
In so many ways. And in so many ways, Worry Free, or this type of Worry Free, is not Boots Riley saying like, oh, surely there's a better capitalism, or like I'm proposing a better way. He's just examining how capitalism always thinks of new ways to hide itself or disguise itself. So that's really what Worry Free is. That's really what the horse people are about, is just this sinister, absurd, magical realism version of what capitalism does to people or wants from people. And it's just their labors. Shut the fuck up. Stop striking. We're going to pull out the riot police to barge through your strike lines anyways. We're going to trivialize like moments from the strike, like the have a Coke and a smile thing when they throw the Coke at Cash's head.
Yeah.
That becomes like a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
That kids wear. Which is like, we see moments of that on TV. And another thing we see on TV throughout the movie is this show called like, let's beat the shit out of you, or something like that.
Which Cash just uses to try and like get the word out about the horse people shit.
He's like, how do I reach these people? Let's go on the most viewed idiotic show on America.
Yeah.
And do this. And that's like a device that was used in RoboCop with the like, I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah.
Is this dumbass show that everyone watches, that everyone's plugged into, from the guy at the gas station like having a ball when he hears the line, or the newly appointed vice president at OCP is like, well, I'd buy that for $1. That's culture. That's the culture of America. And Boots Riley's like, yeah, some fucking dumbass show where people just go on there to get the shit kicked out of them. Unfortunately, that's probably where we need to, start spreading the message. But then what happens in the movie is it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It actually makes the stock of Worry Free skyrocket. And, Steve Lift becomes a fucking even more rich guy.
Yeah. Like instead of like the evil plot that it is, it's looked at as like a breakthrough.
Yeah. It's not, 3 Days of the Condor, or like All the President's Men, where like we exposed corruption and they thanked us for it.
Yeah.
It's we exposed corruption and everyone said, wow, what a good idea. We should give them more money.
In the commentary track of the movie, Boots Riley makes a really, really good point. And it kind of ties into something that you said earlier. But he said, a lot of times the idea in movies is if you expose the problem, that's the end of it. I don't believe that's how it works in the real world. So it doesn't happen like that in this world. That's also the conversation about art. A lot of times the idea of an artist is, I'm doing my job. I'm exposing the bullshit. That's not enough. You've got to connect with folks who are trying to make some material changes in the situation and that are organizing. Everybody can't just be saying what the problem is, and that includes artists. People know what the problem is. But if all we're doing is saying what the problem is and not connecting it to how we can change stuff, then you're just adding to it. We're just proving the point to the powers that be that, yeah, there's a lot of problems and you can't do anything about it. The key is to have a way to change things. And if you don't have them, join with folks that are actively trying to do those things. And that's...
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Have you seen I Love Boosters yet? Because that's a commercial for I Love Boosters right there. Everyone go see the new Boots Riley, I Love Boosters. Fuck yeah, dude.
Because he's absolutely right. Because like the kind of hopelessness that a lot of people feel right now, especially in this moment of the fucking crumbling of the American empire, they know that elections are rigged. They know that wealth controls the government. They know that corporations have almost
unchecked
limitless power.
Yeah.
They can't conceive of a way to change that.
No.
So most people do nothing. And that's fucking sad.
They do nothing, and then they do a left-right thing.
Yeah.
And like, I think we've said this on the show before. It's not a left-right thing. It's an up-down thing.
Yes.
And if you're not up, you're down.
It's all of this is class warfare, and the rich are winning. It's crazy.
We need more class consciousness in this country, for sure.
And we need more movies like Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah.
That are, like Boots Riley is the artist who's saying, here's the problem, right? But at least in the movie and in a lot of kind of quote unquote communist films that I've seen that are about labor, they attempt to give you somewhat of a blueprint for how you can fight back, right? And that's why the character of Squeeze is so important in this movie.
Yeah.
Is because here's what you do. You just say, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
If everyone says I'm not going to do it, what do they got? Fucking nothing.
Another quote from Boots that I want to highlight is, he says, quote, "I want to make movies that show that there is a way to fight back.
Yeah.
I want to make movies that at least look at it from that standpoint, that we can fight back, that we can change things. I'm putting that into my art."
Love it.
I love that. And that is like, this is the future of this kind of, anti-capitalist, or at least like pro labor, pro people. It's a pro people movie. Whereas like a movie like RoboCop, which I still love and still get plenty of enjoyment from, that shit doesn't work anymore, dude. Like, we're kind of past the point of satire having that kind of an impact. Like, the world is like almost satire proof at this point. We have a fucking trillionaire, dude.
It's exactly what Boots Riley is saying. Is like, okay, like the old tactic of satire, right? Is
Of
simply
pointing out the problem.
Is simply labeling the problem.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't do enough. It literally just gives people like you and me the ability to be like, hey, look, there's the problem, right?
Wow. Can you imagine if a corporation did that? That's wild.
Yeah.
There is a call to action.
Yeah.
In Sorry to Bother You. And it kind of flies under the radar a little bit, but Squeeze is proven right. They get protections. They all go back to work, except for Detroit. I think she stays with her art because she did join Regal View for a bit. But Stephen Yoon and his Cash's buddy Sal, he gives them his car that he got, and they're like, okay, we'll see you at Regal View, because like now we've got like benefits and shit. It's not that they wanted to go in and burn the system down. They were like, hey, this fucking sucks and you're exploiting us.
Yeah.
Like, pay us well and we'll still do good, nay, even great work. But like, share that wealth, man. Like, we're people. Like, you are shit without us. So fucking pay us.
Yeah.
It is not a greed thing. The greed is withholding that money. The greed is the exploitation.
The greed is taking a lion's share of the profits for doing nothing.
Yeah.
For doing literally none of the labor.
I think at one point Steve Lift even says like, yeah, the workers need to do the labor per se. He even he brushes it off and like, sure, we need workers to do the labor per se, but what we really need is you, Cassius. Yeah. And we didn't really get to it, but he wanted to use Cassius to be like a plant. To be he says like the quote, like Martin Luther King of the Equisapien uprising, which is a strange ass sentence to say out loud, but just so they can.
But you get a horse cock.
Oh, yeah. Have you considered that? It was in the user agreement in that Coke you snorted. Did you read it?
So there you have it. Two movies that like I sympathize, right? If I saw them together, at first I would be like, why? Uh-huh. But like, it's so natural, right? You have a movie that points out the problem and you have a movie that gives you the solution. Mm-hmm. Made by two entirely different minds, brilliant minds, and two entirely different genres. But I love that like genre can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think like RoboCop specifically is what science fiction should be. It's not lasers and robots and AI for the sake of it. You use those technologies. You use technologies that don't exist now to tell stories about like the human condition.
Right.
You know,
it like follows the logic of like, if we kept going at this pace, but humanity still existed, how is that clash gonna play out?
Yeah.
There.
And that's what good science fiction does really well. And that's what RoboCop does very well. I wish we had more Boots Rileys who were making movies that not only pointed out the sickness that is capital, but also how normal people can actually participate in so-called democracy and make things better for themselves.
And not just lie down and accept it or keep blaming each other, keep blaming our neighbors for it. Because it's not your neighbor that's causing you to not have benefits at your job. They are not mailing your boss being like, make sure they don't get healthcare, dude. That's a fucking CEO.
Yeah.
That is a C-suite problem. The C stands for cunt.
And with that,
see you next Tuesday.
we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time. Holy shit, we did it.
Bye now.
All right. Bye, guys.